Shot in the 500 block of East 63rd Street. The boy was on the street when a suspect got out of a vehicle and shot him multiple times. That gunman got back into the car and fled west on 63rd. Police say Gregory was dead on the scene. The incident is possibly gang-related. No one is in custody.
My son, laying on that cold ground. I knew I had to get over there to be with my son.
And my cousin came in there running to me crying and shit, talking about, your friend just got killed. You feel me? Then I ran all the way from 62nd and Wabash all the way to 63rd and St. Lawrence. Saved them right there on the floor, broke right down. You see your friend there, you instantly gonna start crying.
January 12, 2011. The city of Chicago would change forever. One life was taken, and the gang feud that followed resulted in many shootings and still continue to this day. Shondell Gregory, a young boy known to his peers as Tooka, told his mother the haunting last words, "Mama, I'm coming home." But he never made it. That morning, the sun rose on what was thought to be a normal day in the city, but it would turn out to be a disaster. Tooka's mother handed him a letter to take to school to deal with the matter of his suspension for having an altercation with the teacher.
He had got suspended for school. I'll go get him back in school. He had got into it with a teacher. So they sent him home.
Tooka was excited, especially for school that day, because he would get to do something he was passionate about, wrestling. It was a recreation that acted as an outlet for his anger. Shondell had a match that day and was focused on coming out the winner. His sister was home at the time and was leaving for a doctor's appointment. So the original plan was for him to head out along with her.
My daughter was there because she had a doctor's appointment. So she was gonna leave kind of late. But she like, "Come on, Tooka, we gotta do woo-woo-woo." I'm like, "Tooka, what are you doing now?" I'm telling him, "Come on, son, you gotta go to school, you walk the way and woo-woo-woo."
Tooka, however, hid until his sister left and then proceeded to school on his own.
He went and hid until she left out.
The hours passed. From that early morning into the evening, Tooka was still alive and breathing, and honestly, having a great day. At 6:04 p.m., he was at the bus stop at 63rd Street in St. Lawrence when he made a call to his mother with good news. He had won his wrestling match. The happiness and joy in his voice was a moment that made both himself and his mother proud.
He called me and say, "Mama, I won my wrestling match." I was like, "Good, son, come on home." I was, ooh, that's what.
She was excited to see her son to enjoy a night after his big win. But sadly, that joy would soon turn into sorrow.
Will you focus on upgrading your warp engines to reach star systems and planets unknown? Will you prioritize upgrading your armaments to deal?
His mother began preparing something special for the occasion, for when he got home. So she went ahead to the kitchen where she was seasoning some chicken.
Yeah, I was seasoning the chicken. I'm telling him, "Come on home, son." So that's all I'm waiting for is my son to come through this door so I give him a hug and feed him real good, and we're gonna talk about his match.
She was unaware that after that call at 6:04 p.m., it would only be a couple of minutes before tragedy struck. At approximately 6:48 p.m., Tooka was at the bus stop on 63rd and St. Lawrence, in the Woodlawn neighborhood in Southside Chicago, with two other witnesses awaiting a bus. A dark-colored vehicle pulled up. A passenger who was wearing a half mask jumped out, and there's rumored to have been a brief exchange of words before Shondell Gregory, aka Tooka, was shot several times about his body. News reports further allege that he staggered to a nearby trash can where the gunman shot him a couple more times to the back before fleeing the scene in the vehicle. By the time police personnel and the paramedics arrived at the scene of the crime, Tooka had already succumbed to his injuries. Shondell whose name at the time was yet fully identified by media outlets, died at the scene.
15-year-old Chanel Gregory was shot in the 500 block of East 63rd Street. The boy was on the street when a suspect got out of a vehicle and shot him multiple times. That gunman got back into the car and fled west on 63rd. Police say Gregory was dead on the scene. The incident is possibly gang-related. No one is in custody.
According to law enforcement, his incident was no random shooting, but gang-related. Information from authorities state that he was a known gang member of the Gangster Disciples, and his assassination was retaliation for the shooting of a Black Disciple affiliate. Tooka was often seen throwing up gang signs in pictures and even in videos, repping the set STL EBT.
STL crazy.
STL stands for St. Lawrence Boys, reflecting the area of St. Lawrence Street and 63rd. The set is labeled a rival of the opposing Wick City, which is now popularly known as O Block. Shondell Gregory, aka Tooka, was well respected in the STL EBT, and in his honor, the name was changed to Tookaville. Rival gang members like Chief Keef and King Von went on to mock his passing and used his name to push a wave of disrespectful terms like Smoking Tooka and Tooka Pack, and a bunch of others.
But I'm smoking on this Tooka Pack, yeah.
The slander on his name by these famous gang members inspired an entire generation of rappers that constantly name-drop Tooka in their songs. This, however, has led to many becoming targets for associates of Tooka that honor his legacy, prompting public apologies. One such affiliate and close friend standing up for his name was FBG Duck, who later also lost his life due to gang violence in August 2020. To FBG Duck, he was like a brother, and he felt the pain of his loss deeply, running to see Tooka when he heard the news of his shooting.
And my cousin came in there running to me crying and shit, talking about, your friend just got killed. You feel me? Then I ran all the way from 62nd and Wabash all the way to 63rd to St. Lawrence. Saved them right there on the floor, broke right down. You see your friend there, you actually gonna start crying.
While the street erupted in a back and forth, where friends and rivals go at it over his passing, there was a much more painful story for persons like his mother. She recalls how gut-wrenching and agonizing finding out about her son. The last time she heard her son was at 6:04 p.m. when they spoke about him winning his wrestling match, and she was preparing a nice meal to celebrate when he got home. Sadly, she got another call not long after. This time, the atmosphere wasn't of joy, but denial and pain. On the other end of the call was a detective calling to inform her that there was a shooting, and her son, Shondell Gregory, was involved.
The detective called me. He say, "Is you somebody's mama?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my son," because he had the note inside his pants pocket that was sending him home. He said, "Well, we want to call you and let you know there's been a shooting and he's been involved."
At that moment, Tooka's mother completely blocked out any belief that his life was lost. Even on the way to the crime scene, she kept telling herself he's okay and everything is fine. Arriving to the location, she was still not coming to terms with Tooka being gone. Instead, she looked for him in an ambulance to reunite with her son. What she was instead met with was the grueling image of her son covered in a white blanket, on the floor beside a bus stop with shattered glass. Her body went numb.
That's the last memory I have of my son. It's him telling me my mom coming home. And he never walked through them doors again.
It's a sad reality, but it's one the culture has accepted and embraced. Shootings in that lifestyle is like a game, and gangs celebrate when they win, when in reality, no one wins.
What do you want the industry to know? And what do you want the entertainment industry to know? What do you want other rappers that have brought up your son's name to know?
Tooka is a whole person. It's not no strand of weed. He should be remembered as no strand of weed. He have a mother, he have family out here. You know what I'm saying? He have people that love him dearly out here. So all this stuff y'all talking about, y'all smoking on Tooka and dissing him, you can't dance with the devil and expect God to forgive you. You can't do that. It's either or.
Tooka's brother, Mark Campbell, aka Little Mark, would later suffer a similar fate when he too was gunned down at a bus stop. That only added fuel to the disrespect, with rivals, now hip-hop icon Lil Durk, mocking his passing, shooting a video at the bus stop where he was gunned down. Still, those